Today, we're taking a tasty trip back to the 1970s. Get ready for a blast from the past as we explore some of the most memorable, mouth-watering retro dishes that defined an entire decade of American cooking. Number 1. Tuna Noodle Casserole. First making waves in mid-century America, this creamy comfort dish found its stride in the 1970s, aligning with the era's fascination with casseroles that could feed a crowd on a budget. According to detailed discussions in over 100 online forums and vintage cookbooks, families embrace this recipe for its combination of economical pantry items and straightforward assembly. Baby boomers who grew up on post-war convenience foods recall that mushroom soup, canned tuna, and egg noodles were pantry staples made even more appealing by lively old commercials and magazine ads. The busy schedules of many parents in the 1970s demanded meals that could be thrown together quickly, then baked while everyone caught up on their day or watched the latest TV show. Many recipe cards from the era mention topping the casserole with crushed potato chips or breadcrumbs for texture, something Gen X kids often remember from potluck dinners. Even though fresh ingredients are more accessible now, this dish's nostalgic power remains strong, reflecting the days when family dinners were about hearty flavors and minimal fuss. Modern cooks may toss in fresh vegetables or use lighter creams, yet that same savory, comforting essence endures, making Tuna Noodle Casserole a timeless snapshot of the 1970s preference for simple, crowd-pleasing meals. Number 2. 7-Layer Salad. Another iconic offering from potluck tables in the 1970s was the 7-layer salad, meticulously stacked with colorful vegetables, crisp lettuce, and a creamy dressing on top. Data from countless home cooking blogs and old community cookbooks shows that the layered salad phenomenon reached its peak during a time when tableside appeal mattered almost as much as taste. Baby boomers fondly recall seeing tall glass bowls where each layer, lettuce, tomatoes, peas, onions, cheese, bacon, and that thick dressing, was visible through the sides, creating a rainbow-like effect. These salads often featured a tangy, mayonnaise-based topping, sweetened slightly and mixed with seasonings, proving that Americans in the 1970s were no strangers to rich flavors. Gen X children of the time remember peering curiously into these see-through bowls, waiting for the moment the salad would get tossed into a swirl of crunchy goodness. The dish resonated with the era's spirit of communal gatherings and potlucks, reflecting a golden age in which practical, yet visually appealing recipes reigned supreme. Today, health-conscious cooks might scale back the mayonnaise or add fresh herbs, but the fundamental idea of layering flavors into a vibrant centerpiece endures as a beloved tribute to 1970s extravagance and creativity. Even modern online cooking communities, analyzing numerous nostalgic recipes, continue to celebrate the 7-layer salad as a fun blast from the past. Number 3. Beef Stroganoff. Though this dish has roots in 19th century Russia, the 1970s American version of beef stroganoff secured a place in the hearts of baby boomers with its creamy texture and hearty appeal. A review of historical cookbooks and multiple cooking show segments reveals that home cooks in the 1970s found the dish enticing for its luxurious sour cream sauce, tender beef strips, and fresh mushrooms, making it seem worldly and refined, yet still comforting. Families often served it over egg noodles, aligning with that decade's fondness for noodles and casseroles. Some variants used ground beef for an even more budget-friendly approach, a reflection of the era's practical outlook. Gen Xers, who were children at the time, remember the aroma of onions and mushrooms sizzling in the pan, a warm invitation for everyone to gather around the dinner table. Many baby boomers later recalled that the recipe struck a perfect balance between ease of preparation and a sense of culinary adventure. Contemporary adaptations sometimes swap the sour cream for Greek yogurt, or add garlic and wine for deeper flavor, maintaining the original's allure but tweaking it to match modern palates. The lasting charm of beef stroganoff, showcased on retro cooking channels and in nostalgic community forums, is a testament to the 1970s quest for robust, one-pan meals that felt both exotic and homey at the same time. Number 4. Grape Jelly Meatballs. It may sound surprising, but these sweet and tangy morsels were a star appetizer at parties and family gatherings throughout the 1970s. Tracing the recipe's popularity through old newspaper clippings, community cookbooks, and countless party photos, you'll find that baby boomers gravitated toward the simplicity. Meatballs, often frozen for convenience, grape jelly, and chili sauce or barbecue sauce simmered together in a slow cooker. people marveled at how those flavors melded into a sticky, savory glaze. Hostesses prided themselves on setting out a crock pot filled with these meatballs alongside toothpicks or small plates, a perfect match for the decade's casual entertaining style. Gen X kids have vivid memories of sneaking extra meatballs off the buffet table during holiday gatherings, drawn by that irresistible balance of sweet and tangy. Some people might question the jelly meat pairing today, yet the dish persists as a quirky, delicious callback to a time when novelty reigned supreme in American home kitchens. Modern chefs sometimes use cranberry sauce instead of grape jelly, or add spices like cayenne, but the spirit of convenience and bold flavor remains. Sites dedicated to vintage recipes consistently highlight grape jelly meatballs as a conversation starter, reflecting the whimsical experimentation that defined so many 1970s culinary trends. Number 5. Buncake. The iconic donut-shaped Buncake soared in popularity during the 1970s, even though Nordic ware introduced the Bunt pan much earlier. A wealth of cooking competitions and community recipe swaps revealed that Bunt cakes appealed to baby boomers seeking both style and substance in their desserts. People loved the versatility. Recipes ranged from citrus-glazed pound cakes to decadent chocolate swirl creations. Bunt cakes became a fixture at birthdays, potlucks, and holiday parties, drawing eyes with their unique shape and tempting icing drizzles. Old commercials and magazine advertisements spotlighted these pans as a household essential, offering a centerpiece dessert that required relatively little fuss. Gen X children might recall waiting for that magical moment when the cake was inverted out of its pan, revealing intricate ridges and patterns. In addition to standard flavors, creative home bakers in the 1970s often experimented with canned fruit, pudding mixes, and even cola to keep the cake moist. Modern iterations embrace everything from pumpkin spice to gluten-free ingredients, but the nostalgic appeal of a Bunt cake fresh out of the oven remains a universal favorite. Vintage cooking blogs frequently celebrate the Bunt as a symbol of 20th century American baking culture, tying it to memories of simpler times and the warm glow of a mid-century kitchen. Number 6. Crêpes Suzette. An air of sophistication surrounded crêpes Suzette in the 1970s, as many Americans explored French cuisine influenced by the likes of Julia Child and other culinary pioneers. This dish features thin, delicate pancakes doused in a buttery orange sauce, often flambéed with Grand Marnier or another orange liqueur. After analyzing numerous gastronomic articles and restaurant menus from that era, it's evident that baby boomers gravitated to crêpes Suzette for its dramatic tableside presentation, which felt simultaneously upscale and approachable. Gen X children witnessed the flambé spectacle at fancy dinners or on special occasions, their eyes lighting up at the spectacle of open flames dancing across the sauce. Some home cooks dared to replicate the effect in their kitchens, earning admiration at dinner parties for going French. The tradition tied into a broader fascination with European flavors that took root in the 1960s and matured into the 1970s. Although many folks might now opt for simpler pancake recipes or avoid open flames in the kitchen, the essence of crêpes Suzette, delicate, citrusy, and just a bit theatrical, continues to charm. Modern variations skip the flambé or use non-alcoholic orange syrup, but the dish's legacy as an icon of vintage sophistication endures, representing the era's willingness to embrace adventurous culinary expressions. Number 7. Cocktail Wieners in barbecue sauce. Sometimes referred to as Lil Smokies or Little Sausages, these bite-sized morsels were an absolute staple at 1970s cocktail parties, family reunions, and sporting event get-togethers. After scanning period advertisements and personal cookbooks from baby boomers, it's clear that these miniature hot dogs became a go-to appetizer for hosts looking to please guests with minimal effort. Often simmered in a crock pot or chafing dish, the wieners would soak up a tangy sweet barbecue sauce, sometimes blended with grape jelly for extra sweetness, creating a mouth-watering snack that easily disappeared from the buffet table. Gen Xers remember poking toothpicks into these sizzling sausages at gatherings where adults chatted over cocktails, a reminder of the decade's relaxed, entertaining style. The 1970s love affair with convenience foods played perfectly into the popularity of cocktail wieners, as the pre-cooked sausages and ready-made sauces saved time in busy households. Modern spins might include gourmet sausages, spicier sauces, or even bacon-wrapped versions. Yet the essential concept remains the same. Both retro cooking blogs and mainstream food sites acknowledge these mini sausages as an enduring favorite that encapsulates the nostalgia of mid to late 20th century American social life, complete with flickering disco lights and casual conversation drifting through the living room. Number 8. Steak Diane. Steakhouses and fancy home-cooked dinners of the 1970s often featured Steak Diane, a flamboyant pan-sautéed steak served with a rich sauce of butter, cream, brandy, and flambéed shallots. Articles from culinary historians and references in old restaurant menus confirm that baby boomers loved the theatrical element of preparing this dish tableside, mirroring European fine dining traditions. The flambé process, with brandy ignited in the pan, was a spectacle that delighted diners seeking a touch of old Hollywood glamour. Gen Xers who experienced it as kids might recall the excitement of watching flames rise dramatically around the steak, providing dinner entertainment before smartphones even existed. During the 1970s, home cooks tried to replicate this upscale restaurant favorite in their own kitchens. Encouraged by cooking demonstrations on TV programs dedicated to bringing global cuisine stateside. The sauce, often seasoned with Worcestershire sauce and Dijon mustard, clung to the seared meat, creating a savory experience that felt luxurious without demanding excessive complexity. Contemporary versions sometimes replace heavy cream with lighter alternatives or add modern herbs, but the foundation remains a succulent, flambéed sauce that channels the glitzy spirit of 1970s dinner parties. Steak Diane's enduring appeal confirms the decade's interest in both convenience and showmanship, blending them into a perfect balance. Number 9. Baked Alaska. Though it originated in the 19th century, Baked Alaska became a performance dessert in the 1970s, when home cooks wanted something spectacular to impress guests at celebrations. Vintage cooking shows from that period featured step-by-step instructions for layering sponge cake and ice cream, then enveloping it all in meringue before a swift bake in a hot oven. It was almost magical how the meringue insulation preserved the ice cream inside, leaving baby boomers marveling at the treat's theatrical contrast of hot and cold. Gen X children often associate Baked Alaska with fancy dinners, birthdays, or weddings where an elaborate showstopper took center stage. Many articles on mid-century menus reveal that restaurants proudly showcase this dessert on special occasion lists, benefiting from the tableside drama of slicing into a still-frozen interior beneath toasty meringue peaks. In some cases, brandy or liqueur was poured on top and briefly lit on fire, adding to the show. Modern pastry chefs might experiment with different ice cream flavors or incorporate fresh fruit layers, but the essence stays true. A mesmerizing treat that encapsulates the 1970s flair for making ordinary gatherings feel extraordinary. Online vintage cooking communities confirm that Baked Alaska endures as a nostalgic gem, rewarding those who take on the challenge of blending sweet spectacle with timeless flavors. Number 10. Black Forest Cake. This chocolate cherry layered cake traces its origins to Germany but soared to American popularity in the 1970s, often spotted on dessert menus and in glossy cookbook photos. Its signature elements, chocolate cake layers, whipped cream, cherries, and sometimes a cherry liqueur, fit perfectly into the decade's indulgent approach to entertaining. A deep dive into old baking magazines and community recipe collections reveals that baby boomers admired Black Forest cake for its dramatic appearance. Shaved chocolate sprinkles on top, with bright red cherries crowning a billowy white whipped cream. Some bakers substituted canned cherry pie filling for fresh cherries, reflecting the convenience-driven mindset of 1970s America. Gen Xers who grew up then might remember special family occasions featuring a homemade or bakery-bought version, the sweet cherries and chocolate instantly evoking holiday cheer or birthday excitement. The name itself carried an exotic allure, connecting to an era when international desserts felt exciting and refined. Modern bakers often elevate the recipe by using dark chocolate ganache or fresh cherries soaked in kirsch, but the essence remains that delightful union of chocolatey richness and fruity brightness. Black Forest cake stands as a testament to a time when flavor met showmanship, reminding everyone how the 1970s balanced practicality and celebration in equal measure. Number 11. Grasshopper Pie. In the 1970s, Grasshopper Pie emerged as a festive dessert that combined a refreshing minty flavor with a lush, creamy texture. A survey of vintage party planning books and dessert columns illustrates how baby boomers were drawn to its pastel green color and simple assembly. Typically, the filling consisted of marshmallow creme or whipped cream blended with creme de menthe and creme de cacao liqueurs, poured into a chocolate cookie crust for a striking color contrast. Gen Xers recall the dessert tables at family reunions or holiday parties brightened by that mint green glow, often garnished with chocolate shavings on top. The recipe echoed the decade's fascination with tinted foods, reminiscent of other bright dishes like Watergate salad or pistachio-flavored cakes. Because Grasshopper Pie required minimal baking, sometimes it was even a refrigerator pie, it appealed to busy households that wanted a pop of flavor without extensive prep. Modern renditions might lean on gel food coloring to boost the green hue or opt for alcohol-free extracts, but the underlying idea remains: a light, airy treat that stands out at any gathering. Nostalgic dessert enthusiasts confirm through blogs, YouTube tutorials, and community forums that Grasshopper Pie endures as a sweet nod to 1970s culinary experimentation, capturing both the playful color palette and the communal enjoyment that defined so many gatherings of that era.